Hello everyone, welcome to BISP Solutions. I am Preeti Rajani, working here as Oracle Fusion Functional Consultant. So in our today's session, we will start with the setups related to project control in the project financial management. So what is the use of project control? Here project managers can use Oracle Fusion Project Control to manage project plans, progress, budgeting and forecasting. So the work related to progress, budgeting and forecast will be done in the project control module. Now these are the following tasks that you have to perform to work related to project controls, that is manage period profiles. In this you have to create the period profiles. In the second you have to create the spread curves which are used to distribute the amount in the budget. Third is manage resource classes spread curves. We have already seen this task in our last session. Fourth is you have to create the project plan type, and then you have to create the financial plan type. This is the description of the task. So what is the use of creating the period profiles? It specifies how time periods are grouped and displayed when editing budgets, forecast and project plan cost. What is spread curves? We have already gone through it in our last session. It specifies how quantity, cost and revenue amounts are automatically distributed across a range of accounting or project accounting periods. Basically it is used to distribute the amount throughout the life of the project. Third task is manage resource classes spread curves. It review and update resource classes to specify the spread curve to be used. In the fourth task, we have to create the financial plan type. It specifies options used to control planning scenarios for budget and forecast versions. In the creating project plan type, it specifies default planning options that cascade down to the template and project levels. It basically used to capture the progress of the project. Now we will start with creating the period profile. So you can create a new period profile or you can edit the existing one to control how periods are grouped and displayed. This is the frequency of the period. You can select the frequency of the period as per your business requirement. So period profile enable entry of amounts for a mixed periods for multiple years including weekly, monthly, quarterly, semi-annual or annually. Now we will move to our application to see how to create period profile practically in the application. This is our application for creating the period profile. You have to go to setup and maintenance. Now in the setup area you have to select project financial management. In the functional area you have to select the project control. Now here you can see the required task of this functional area are financial plan type and project plan type. So for creating the period profile you have to click on all task. Now you can see the task that is manage period profile. Click on it. These are the system defined period profiles, that is accounting period, this is how you can create your own period profile. This is a system defined period profile. Click on cancel. I will show this project accounting period also. So this is created only for practice purpose. There is no difference in both the profiles. Now for creating the new one we have to click on this create icon. Say I am creating the period profile for a short-term project. give the description here. Now here you have to select the calendar type. You can select the accounting calendar or project accounting calendar. As we discussed in our previous session, project is having unique functionality that to use the calendar which is different from the GL accounting period. Now here you have to select the start date. System is taking today's date automatically. Now here you can give the frequency of your period. I am taking 12 months period profile, so I have to give the 12 periods. Now I've given the frequency here. If you want to add more to it, you have to click on this add row and you can give the frequency as per your own business requirement. Now from all these periods you can select your current period. Say I am selecting May as my current period. You can see the green tick here. In this way you can set the current period. Now click on save and close. This is how you can create the period profile. Now click on done. Again move to our PPT. Now we will discuss about the spread curves. We have already had a discussion over this. It determines how to distribute the amount with spread curves throughout the life of the project. It edit resource assignment dates and plan distribution of amounts separately. Spread curves are related to resource classes. Now we will go to application and see how to create spread curves. You can see the task related to spread curve here, that is manage spread curves. Click on it. So these are the system defined spread curves which are available through Oracle. Now for creating the new one, you have to click on this add icon. Here you can give the start date. Now here you give the points of this spread curve. You can create the distribution points and the sequence as per your own business requirement. The way you want to distribute your amount throughout the project life, you can give here. You can create your own spread curve. Now click on save and close. The points that we have given here, system has taken its total automatically here. You can see here. So this is how we can create the spread curve in the application. Now I will show you where to use these spread curves. We have already discussed in our previous session. Now click on manage resource class. Here you can select the spread curve. You can see the one we have created is visible here. So at the time of creating the resource classes, you can select the spread curve. Now we will move to our presentation. Our next task is to create the project plan type and financial plan type. So what is the difference between both of them? We create project plan type to create the project plan and to capture its progress. Whereas we create the financial plan type, it contains the default setup information and also it creates the budget and forecast. So what is project plan type? It creates project plan types to define default information used when creating project plan and capturing its progress. And what is financial plan type? Financial plan type contains default setup information and planning options that you use for creating different types of budgets or forecast. Now we will move to our application to see how to create project plan type and financial plan type in the application. Click on manage project plan type here. These are the already created project plan type. For creating the new one, we have to click on this add icon. Here you have to give the name of your project plan type. Give the description here. Now here you have to give the start date. Now you can enable the setup options here. One is use third-party software for scheduling. When you will click on this checkbox, you won't be able to do any task settings related to this project plan type because third party is enabled for scheduling. The task setting will be handled by that third party software. And here, if you enable this checkbox, it means the project manager will be eligible to enter the amount in multiple transaction currencies. Say if the project manager want to work only in single currency, then you don't have to enable this checkbox. For practice purpose, I am enabling this checkbox. Now in the planning options, we will see all the tabs related to it. Click on set assignment. Here you have to give the reference data set. Now what is the use of giving the set assignment here? You have to associate sets with the project plan type so that project managers can use it to create project plans for project or project templates. The project plan type is available for selection only when project or templates belongs to a project unit associated with a set selected here. So this is the use of it. Now click on this add icon to add the reference data set here. Now move to next tab, that is plan settings. If you want to enable the project plan for cost, you can enable it here. Set unplanned assignment as planned assignment. Say if you are enabling this project plan for cost, then you can click on progress setting. You can see the physical person complete calculation now is showing two options, that is effort and manual entry. When in the plan setting you will enable this enable cost for project, you will be able to select the cost as physical person complete calculation method. On the basis of cost also you can track the completion progress. For that you have to enable the checkbox here in the plan settings, enable cost for project plan. Now here in the calendar type you have to select the accounting calendar, or you want to use a project accounting calendar. Say I am taking it as project accounting calendar. Then you have to give the rate derivation date type. You can take the rates from the start date of project plan line or the effective resource date dates. Now you can select the rate derivation date type as per your business requirement. For practice purpose I am taking it as effective resource rate dates. Now here you can select the period profiles. You can see here, because we have selected the accounting calendar there, it will show the period profile here that we have created, and when I will select the project accounting calendar, you won't be able to see the period profile that we have created. So the associated period profile to calendar type will be visible here in the options. Now I am selecting the one that we have created. Now move to our next tab, that is task settings. Say if I am enabling this third party software for scheduling, you won't be able to do any of the tasks related to this task settings. The tasks that you can perform with this task settings tab are: use task plan dates as task assignment dates, automatically roll up task plan dates. If you will enable this checkbox, you won't be able to enter the start date and end date, because it will be taking the plan dates automatically on the roll up basis. If you enable this checkbox, then you will be able to synchronize task transaction dates with plan dates. But if you will enable use third party software for scheduling, these tasks won't be able to be done by you. You can see here all the tasks are disabled now. Now move to our next task, that is currency settings. Now say if your project manager want to enter the amount in different currencies or more than one currencies, then you can give the currencies here. I have given USD. Let's select one or two more currencies. So I have selected three currencies. We are able to perform this task is because we have enabled this checkbox of enabling planning in multiple transaction currencies. Now here you can give the rate type, on what basis you want the rate. You can select here. Say if you want to select the rate type for individual currency, then you have to disable this checkbox. You can read here, use same conversion attribute for all currency conversions. Now whatever we will give here, it will be applicable to all the currencies that we have mentioned here. Now say I want to use the individual rate type for every currency, then I have to disable this checkbox. Now it is asking you for different currencies, but for practice purpose I have to use the same conversion rate type, so I will give the rate type as common here. Now move to our next tab, that is rate setting. It works on the business unit level. Select the business unit here. Now it is asking for whether you want to use the planning rates or whether you want to use the actual rates. If you want to use the actual rates, then you have to disable this checkbox, and if you want to use the planning rates as per plan, you have to enable this checkbox. Then you can see, you can mention the rates here, and these rates are coming from the setup that we have done in the project foundation functional area. You can see here, from here you can select the planned rates. Now for practice purpose, I want to use the actual rates, so you have to select only single rate here. Now move to our next setting, that is progress setting. How you want to track the completion percentage, you can select here whether you want to track on the basis of manual entry, effort or cost. You can select here. Say I am selecting it as cost. Now ETC method is estimate to complete. You can give the manual entry, remaining plan. You can give here as per your own business requirement. If you want to allow negative ETC calculation, then you have to enable this checkbox. If you want to update the planned quantity with EAC, that is estimated completion quantity, you can enable this checkbox. If you want to automatically generate the forecast version, you can enable this checkbox. This is completely depend on your business requirement. What should be the primary physical % complete basis? You have to select here, that is manual entry, cost, effort. For practice purpose, I am selecting cost. Now move to our next tab, that is budget generation option. Now in the creation time of project plan type, you have to select the financial plan type here. It is not a mandatory option, it is completely optional. If you have the different flex field, or on the basis of which additional information you want to track your project, you can mention here. Now this is the way how we can create the project plan type, and while creating the project plan type, you can also mention the financial plan type. Click on save and close. So we have created the project plan type. Now we will see how to create the financial plan type, and the use of creating the financial plan type is used for budget and forecast purpose. So these are the already created financial plan type. For creating the new one, you have to click on this create icon. There are two type of financial plan type, that is non-sponsored and sponsored. For now practice purpose, I am selecting it as non-sponsored project. Now here you have to give the financial plan type name. Say I want cost and revenue on same version. I want budget forecast to be created where I will be able to see the cost amounts as well as revenue amounts. So I am giving the name as cost and revenue on same version. Now here you can select the plan class as budget, financial project plan or forecast. I am selecting it as budget. I want to use this financial plan type for budget purpose. Here in the planning amounts, you can select whether you want to see the cost only, whether you want to see the amount related to revenue only, whether you want to see the cost and revenue amounts in separate plan versions. You can select it here. But in my financial plan type, I want to see the cost and revenue related amount in the same version. So I am selecting the last option, that is cost and revenue in the same plan version. Now you can see here there's some changes in the budget options because we have selected the plan amount as cost and revenue in the same plan version. You can designate as approved cost budget. You can designate as approved revenue budget. Use workflow for status changes. You can select this as default financial plan type. You can enable this financial plan type for multiple transaction currencies. You can enable this financial plan type for budgetary controls. For practice purpose, I'm taking this option and I'm enabling this financial plan type to enter the amount in the multiple transaction currencies. Now again go to set assignment. Again, as we did in the project plan type, we have to select here also the reference data set. The motive of selecting the reference data set is same in the project plan type and financial plan type. Move to plan settings. Now here you will decide on what basis you will do the planning. Here you can select the amount types. If you want to enable this financial plan type to do planning for one or two of the amount types, you can select here as per your business requirement. For practice purpose, I am enabling it for every amount type here. Now you have to select the planning level. These are the options available in planning level: project and all tasks, project and top tasks, only project related planning level. So I'm selecting it as project and all tasks. Now here you have to select the calendar type. So I'm taking it as accounting calendar. And now you will be able to see the period profile that we have created. Now again you have to select the rate derivation date type. I'm again taking it as effective resource rate dates. So I have taken from date of budget line. Now move to currency setting. Here also you have to perform the task as we have did in project plan type. Now click on OK. Now you have to give the rate type differently for cost and for revenue. Give the date type here. Now again, if you want to use the different rate type for every currency that we have mentioned here, you can disable this checkbox. And here then you can select the rate type as per your own requirement, but I want to use the same conversion attribute for all currency conversions, so I am enabling this checkbox. Again, it have automatically taken the rate type for revenue options, you can see here. Now move to next tab, that is rate settings. Again you have to mention the business unit here. Again, if you want to use the plan rates, you can enable this checkbox and it will take the plan rates from the project foundation, and we have already discussed in the project foundation functional area how to create the plan rates. And if you want to use the actual rates, you can disable this option. Now here you have to select resource class raw cost rate. So I am selecting it as US resource class cost rate, and you have to select the bill rate here. This is the US resource class bill rates. Now move to next tab, that is generation options, which is different from project plan type. Now you have to select how to create the budget here, whether you want to create manually, whether you want to generate from another source. When at the time of creating project you have to define source at creation, you can select here. Now say for practice purpose I am taking it as generate from another source. So these are the options that you want to select while creating the budget and using it from another source. Here you can select the generation source as financial plan type, project plan type and project resources. Here you have to select source plan version, that is baseline or working. In the revenue generation method you have to select whether you want to generate the revenue on the basis of contract revenue classification method, you have to manually enter it, or whether you want to select the planning rate based. So as per your business requirement you can select here. Now move to next tab, that is reporting options. Now on what basis you want to report the cost, whether you want to consider only direct cost or whether you want to consider the direct and indirect cost together. For considering the direct cost you have to click on this raw cost, and for considering the direct and indirect cost you have to click on this burden cost. Now here you have to select the currency type, whether you want to use the project currency or project ledger currency. You can select it here. Go to next tab, that is export options. So here you can select the measures. It display currency conversion attributes and amount in multiple transaction currencies. So these are the measures on basis of which you will be able to see the amounts. So these are the selected measures and these are the unselected measures. If you want to add any of them you can simply select and you will click on this arrow. For now I am continuing with the already selected measures, but if you want any additional measures you can simply add to it. Now this is the additional information. If you have additional flex field then you can mention it here. Now what if I want to create the financial plan type with the plan class as forecast, then you have to select on forecast and you will see that we have some changes in the forecast setup options. So again I am selecting it as set as default financial plan type. So it is asked because we have already one financial plan type which was on default. So I have removed it. Now you can designate as primary cost forecast, you can designate as primary revenue forecast, you can use workflow for status changes, you can set this financial plan type as default, you can enable this financial plan type which are created on the basis of plan cast as forecast. You can enable this financial plan type for multiple transaction currency. You can automatically approve forecast. If you enable this checkbox then it will automatically approve forecast. Now click on set assignment. This setup is same as we have created the financial plan type taking plan class as budget. In the plan settings all the fields are same. In the currency setting also all the fields are same. In the rate settings again all the setups are same. In the generation option you will see the different fields. Now we will go through it. Forecast etc method. Forecast etc means it stands for estimate to complete method. You can see here you can select the cost performance index based, remaining plan to conclude, or you can manually enter the forecast method. So here you can select the method as per your own requirement. Now here actual amounts through period, current period, prior period, last close period, you can select it as per your own requirement. etc generation source. Now here you can select the source, whether you want to Select the source as financial plan type, project plan type, or project resources. You can select here. Source plan version, I am taking it as baseline. Revenue generation method, again you can select as per your own requirement. If you want to allow negative ETC to be considered at the time of calculation, you can enable this checkbox. If you want to include the committed cost amounts, you can enable this checkbox. If you want to retain manually added forecast lines, you can enable this checkbox. And if you want to retain override rates from source, you can enable this checkbox. So this was the different field from if you have selected here the budget. Now go to reporting options. Again, this is the same as we have created the financial plan type when we have taken the plan class as budget. Go to export option. This is also the same, only some of the selected measure have been disabled because it is not allowed in project plan class as forecast. If you want to add some more, available measures are here. If you want to add it, you can simply select the available measure and you can click on this arrow. Now go to additional information. If you want to track your project on the basis of some additional information, you can give here. Now click on save and close. So in today's session, we have seen the tasks related to project control in project financial management. Thank you so much for joining this session and have a good day.